and welcome to Voice with Julia and day 6 of our 30 days of breath support. If you haven't caught up with days 1 through 5, I highly recommend you go do that now before proceeding with day 6, because today we're going to be doing the same exercise as we did yesterday, but we're going to be adding in another element to this. So you really need to watch from the beginning so you get this cumulative effect of understanding of how the breath support system works in singing. But before we dive into that, I want to invite all the classical singers out in the audience to come join us this summer at the Luca Bel Canto Institute. This is in Lucca, Italy from September 9th through 16th. Myself, as well as my fantastic tenor colleague, Ferdinand von Bottmer, will be teaching, and it's like a week-long vocal retreat where we just go and we focus on our technique without any distractions from the outside world. Everything is all-inclusive, it's in a beautiful atmosphere, and we hope to develop a really nice sense of camaraderie at this program. So if you're interested, I invite you to apply early. The link is in the description.
Voice with Julia, change your voice, change your life.
So, without further ado, let's dive in to our discussion today. And this is going to be the role of the back ribs in how we are doing the onsets, okay? So yesterday we talked about this onset, right? And we talked about this right? That feeling, okay? So the tone initiates with these really lower abdominals here, right? Or the pelvic floor. And then to release, this lets go, and that creates the inhale, right? Now, let's add the back ribs to this onset. Just to clear up any confusion, I wear these shirts so you can see what's happening here. But please do not be confused by what you see. And this is why breath support is so confusing to figure out in our own bodies. Because a teacher may demonstrate and we'll see what's happening and we feel it on their body, but we say, okay, we think we know what's going on. But I'm here to tell you that looks can be deceiving. So while I may be initiating the motion from here, you see this move. But this is not what is moving. Please understand this. I am not going like that with my abdominal muscles. It may look like this undulates. This undulates because of my lower, it's like squeezing a toothpaste tube. When you squeeze the toothpaste tube, the top of it goes like this, right? The toothpaste goes up and it goes like that. So it will move. This should not be fast or held, right? This needs to be flexible and will reflect that when we are supporting from down here, okay? So this will undulate as I move, but that motion is not being initiated from here. So please, please remember that, all right? When you're practicing this on your own, this area, especially this Bermuda Triangle that I think we talked about a few days ago, this stays open, right? This is what does the work, all right? So please don't be confused by what you see. You need to feel it in your bodies, all right? These are not concepts you can just know and like learn from a textbook and then immediately know. No, you have to work with your body on this. Sometimes your brain gets it in 1 second, but your body is like, what are we doing? So you need to give yourself the time and the patience to figure it out, all right? So you should not feel activity here, but it doesn't mean you won't see this kind of undulating. Nothing's separate in our bodies. Everything's together. It's not like Lego blocks, right? So when some part moves, you will see a reflected motion in that area, but the motion is not being initiated from that area. Now, that was a little bit of a rant, but you need to understand that because I don't want anyone starting to push and pull here. And I've realized that, you know, if you're seeing me, you may misunderstand that, but that's not what's going on. So now let's jump into the ribs and how that, so we talked about kind of keeping the rib cage open, right? But I want to give a little tip that will help, especially when we have difficult onsets, right? Sometimes our ribs ever so slightly want to come in on the onset, right? And a good tip is if you take your thumbs and you place them back here, okay, and you put all the other fingers here. When you onset, I want you to kick the back rib cage into the thumbs. So watch. If you're here and you were holding my back ribs, you would feel it go out, 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 okay? So today's exercise is the same one as from yesterday, but with this additional awareness about what we're doing here. So still everything from here, right? But you're gonna feel the kick out of the back ribs on that onset. Release. Release, release, yeah? So I want you to practice that exercise, and just as a reminder, in case you forgot, you only practice this onset release in the upper middle voice. Don't take this too low and don't take this too high, okay? So wherever your vocal range is, it should stay within that comfortable light and should be a light sound. We shouldn't go, right? But okay, so let's work on that, and then tomorrow we are going to do more vocalizing. Thank goodness, you're like, we've only been doing one note, but this is so important. And you know what? If you're a professional watching this, I'm going to tell you, this will change your singing, okay? Because there's a lot of wonderful singers out there that the breath isn't quite sorted out, and that can cause stamina issues. So this can really, really help you. I know for myself, when I'm singing on the stage, this is kind of that replenishment that you need, right? As you're singing and you feel like, okay, I want to go past the point, I want to start forgetting about my body because you're getting into the character and you're moving on stage, right? You come back to this point, you come back to this, and suddenly you're not fatigued anymore. So this is really important for people of all levels to figure out and spend the time, even though it's kind of boring, right? We're doing the one note samba, but that's okay. You're gonna get it, and I will see you tomorrow, and I promise we will sing a little bit more.